So first of all, I started off, to those who don't know, I found this monkey on Instagram Reels.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed it. I don't know why. I've never ever in my life bought something off of like an Instagram post, TikTok post, anything. But this monkey, I just saw it one day, and it was so like funny. I just needed to have it. It was like, I don't like to be like spiritual or anything, but it was like something was like guiding my hand, and I scoured the internet for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
It wasn't even a shop link. It was just someone playing with.
It
was like
some
a toy, and you're like
random video, and I just needed to have it, so I ended up finding it on the Italian Amazon or some shit, like the French one, I don't know, and I got it, had it for like maybe a week or so, and then I went out in my bathroom and I just dropped it on the floor, and it got ripped to 40 million views. But that was on my personal account called just Frederik Feldt.
Yeah.
So when I saw I went to work one day, it was at 30K views. After the shift was done, after like 5-6 hours, it was at 7.2 million. So it's like, okay, I need to kind of like name it something after the monkey. So I named it Monkey Man 317. And then from there, I just viewed it kind of like not as a job, not as like an income source, more like a hobby almost.
Just to make content and that like goes viral.
Yeah.
Because your page is crazy viral right now. What? It's like 2.4 million followers.
Yeah. That's 2.4 million followers, and then it was I viewed it as a hobby more than anything else, because it was called Monkey Man, right?
Yeah.
And the man in that made it really like personable. So people followed Monkey Man and not MonkeWorld as it is now. So I had I think I had 10% followers, and like compared to the likes. So if I got 100K likes, I would get 10K followers,
which is crazy good, by the way.
Really fucking good. Like,
and I followed right away too, way before like we connected. I saw one video, I was like, this is fucking hilarious. And then I mean, like you really have a secret to going viral, like throwing it off roofs and shit, and then millions and millions of views, and then you were like, I have to capitalize off this, right?
Yeah. So what basically happened was, so I started this all in July of 21. In that same month, I got a girlfriend. Not gonna talk bad about anyone. I wish her the best, but she was very, like toxic, and it was just a messy relationship overall. So I ended up not posting. I ran the account to maybe 600K followers in 2-3 months, and then shit just started like falling apart with the relationship, and I was just at her place like 24/7 always, taking the train off the
bro.
Yeah, very distracting.
Yeah.
So I just stopped posting for maybe like 8 months. Had my job in a fish restaurant in the kitchen as like a fry cook. It was like fried fish. And went to school last year of high school in Denmark, which is only 3 years of high school. And then 22 rolled around, and it was January or February, I don't remember. But basically what happened, I got into a big argument with my boss. And from one day to another, and I'm being so serious, I got fired. I started gambling. That was kind of like a longer thing. But I got fired, broke up with my girlfriend, had to move out of my apartment because I didn't have any money because I gambled everything. And I was just like in this place where it's just like, what the fuck have I done? Like, I felt like this is kind of like it. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I'm cooked. So I was like, so then I went to school one day. I was like, made a pledge to myself, stop gambling, no more gambling, because we would always sit in the back of the class and then be like, you wanna put $50 in? Like 3 of us.
Were you on a specific game or just anything and everything that got you excited? Just
anything and everything.
Okay, interesting.
We tried different stuff all the time.
Yeah, that was like I was there with my friends in college as well. It's tough.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
But so my friends one day, right the day I'd like pledged to stop, they were like, "Do you want to put 50 in?" And I was like, "No." It was a math class. I was like, I have to kind of like lock in and learn this shit. So they put 50 in each, three of the boys, and they ended up winning like 10K right in front of me. And I had literally maybe I probably had $5 in my account. Like,
yeah.
It was just so devastating. But at the same time, it was like, all right, in the most respectful way possible, fuck these guys. I'm gonna have to like find a way to out earn them on that 10K. Like, there's got to be a way I can earn 10K in a month. $50K likes. Then I posted one more where I dropped it on the bathroom floor, and that got 140 million views.
Wow.
So I was just like, oh, I'm so back. So I made a website really quickly. Worst website I've probably ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't convert very well, but I still got around 700 to 1,000 orders on that, which was like, because I changed the price points.
Were you buying this product off someone else and then reselling it at first?
No, so I went in Alibaba and I just found the product somewhere. So I had these like a little under 1,000 orders. So I went to a supplier and I was like, okay, I have these 1,000 orders. I need you to ship them out, like in a drop shipping way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, and they were like, okay, we can do that. The price is this and that. I had the money from the orders, and I thought I was like kind of good. So then it was just the day before my mom's birthday. So when I went to my mom's birthday brunch, I got the text from the supplier saying, oh, we actually can't deliver anyway, but I already gave them the money. So I was just like, what the fuck? But luckily I had trade assurance, which is something you can have on Alibaba, basically saying that if the supplier doesn't deliver the product or the right product, then you get the money back. But it takes time, you know.
Yeah.
It takes
Wait, what was their excuse?
So they could deliver the product in a sense, but they couldn't deliver the right size. So they could, this size that's on the table right here is 4.5 pounds. They wanted to deliver a product that was 1 pound.
So way smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my customers didn't order that, so I didn't want to
for sure,
scam people, you know.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I need to get this money back. It took like maybe a month, and then I needed to actually find another supplier. So when I found the right supplier, I was like, okay, I need this product. I need 1,000 of them. I need to just ship them out, right? What I then found out, because inside the monkeys is this fine, like, white sand, almost it looks like coke, basically. So if I were to fly them in one by one into the U.S., they would all get seized by customs and cut open because it looks like coke.
Yeah.
So I quickly found out I needed, like, certifications, children's product certificates, lab tests, and, like, this whole ordeal.
This is your first business ever, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, like...
Yeah.
Like first, like, real business,
right?
Yeah,
first real business that actually made me some money, right? Because I've been trying to do different businesses since I was 14, drop shipping, e-commerce, all.
And you're thinking, like, damn, like, this is easy. Like, people want to buy it. I just, like, I got the money. I just buy it I find a supplier. I ship it right over. And then you start finding out all these, like, massive headaches start happening.
Yeah, because it's toys. So, of course, you're going to need certifications because you're selling to children, essentially, right? So I was like, okay, shit, I need to, first of all, I need to order in bulk. Second of all, I need to get these like 7 certifications, different ones, for me to actually sell this product legally. So she's like, okay, there's no other way than just getting those and doing that. But in the process of actually doing that, it just took months to get the product from China to the US to get the certification. So I got the orders in April and I shipped out the last order in late August, I think.
Oh, wow.
So people were pissed.
Yeah.
Like every day I just got emails saying, "What the fuck is my order?" and the PayPal chargebacks and
what would you say? I've always found that, because I've been in similar situations. I've never done pre-orders and stuff, but I've been in situations where people are upset about like some sort of miscommunication between the actual what the product is and what arrived, right?
Yeah.
And I usually find that honesty is the best answer. You just say, "Hey, listen, right? I'm 20 years old. This is my first business. I'm gonna get you your product. But I'm sorry it's taken so long." But like,
that's the exact way I went about it, because I was just like being completely honest with all the customers emailing me, because basically I just laid down on my back and told them, "Hey, I'm 20 years old. This is a TikTok business. You saw it on TikTok. Let me just get these orders out for you. It's gonna be late, but it's gonna come eventually. Just give me some time before chargebacking me, right?"
Yeah.
So most of them understood, and the rest really didn't. They just ended up contacting their bank or whatnot and creating these chargebacks. So at the end of the day, from April to July, I lost money. But what lost me even more money was the fact that, first of all, I didn't view it at all as a job. Because this was my graduating year, and I went into the summer of me graduating. So it's just parties, multiple a day with these graduation parties, right?
Yeah.
Just driving around, going to one party, going to another, getting fucking shit-faced every single day. So, and second of all, every person who was pissed about the order wrote in my comments, "This dude scammed me, don't buy from this guy." So the reputation just took a big hit also, right? So what happened was, I went from going to school every day to graduating to then after summer, everyone that I knew basically from my class, all my friends, went to get normal like jobs, 9-to-5s, right? Or like studying for university. So there I was with like MonkeWorld on my hands, and I didn't have a job, so I lost like literally every single social event and interaction I used to have. And it was just like this big shift from me being social every single day to me just going from waking up I had a terrible sleep schedule too. So I woke up at maybe, I don't know, 10 or 1. Woke up, worked on MonkeWorld, went to the gym at maybe 2 a.m. in the morning, and got home, slept at 4 a.m. and did that, like the whole thing. What ended up happening though was I just got like, I don't want to say depressed, because I know some people are actually like clinically depressed, but I was just very like down mentally, because it felt like kind of like I'd lost all my friends, and I got into this kind of like mindset also from all these like TikTok motivational videos, like cut everyone off for like 6 months and just go like grind mode, go ghost. But that just doesn't work for me. Like, I don't know what to say. It's just like, it makes me kind of depressed to not talk to anyone and just work. So I was like, in August, I saw like some Chinese sellers were selling the Monke on Amazon, on their American Amazon. So I was like, I can probably do that, because I actually need to do something to make this work. Otherwise, I'll have to go get a job, which was the last thing in the world I wanted to, right? So I put in the application and whatnot, and then in November, I put in the application, sent products, got approved, sent products to the Amazon warehouse. They didn't get there until November, so I had these like from August to November where I was just really like down.
Yeah. Well, also, what do you like? How are you paying for everything? Are you living at home with your parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was, when I founded the company in August of 22, I was like, because my dad is also a big entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
It's been his whole life, and we've always wanted to own something together. So we just founded the company where he got 20%, I got 80%. And obviously the company wasn't worth anything right there, so we just like split it, for free, so there's no like investment or anything.
Yeah.
What we did do was that he funded the initial order for Amazon, which was like 500 units, I think, so maybe like 5K, 6K, which I paid back when we launched on Amazon. Because then what happened was, in November, we launched on Amazon. It just sold out within like a couple of days.
Yeah.
I was just like, hell yeah. But it was the holiday season. And what happens with toys in the holiday season is that sales typically tend to 3 or 4x during the holidays. So I didn't have any stock after, for the rest of November and the whole of December. And that really messes up your algorithm on Amazon. This is like TikTok. It's like the TikTok algorithm. So if your product does well, like if a video does well, then you sell more. And on TikTok, you get more views. It's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
But there was no other way than just to order more stock. So ever since then, it's really just been a race for me maintaining like a good cash flow and then ordering stock when I need to. But we, like last year, which I consider like the first real year of doing this business, 23, we ended up being like sold out 5, 6, 7 times or something.
Nice.
And the last time was so we had our best month in November of last year, where we also ended up selling out before December. So I just missed out.
That literally happened to me
too
in my business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse.
It's terrible.
On one end, you're really happy because you sold out, right? It's a weird kind of paradox because you're really happy that you sold out, and that feels great, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, fuck, I'm missing out on it. You start doing math, and you're like, if we're doing this much a day, right? If we're doing $10,000 a day, and I'm not getting new stuff in until the end of next month. I'm losing $300,000 worth of sales, right?
Yes.
And that, like, losing potential sales is almost worse than like not getting them in the first
100%.
place. You know what I mean?
Because you go from one day to seeing, like, that's a 10K in sales, 12K in sales, and then the other day 0.
Yeah.
And then every day it just like pained me. It's like a pain just thinking about, okay, today I lost $12,000.
Yeah.
No big deal. But it was a big deal, like, to me, because I just couldn't stop thinking about it, which was also kind of like hazardous, because it's really a bad way to think, because it is good that you sell out.
Yeah.
One thing we also did was, on Amazon, you can run these like placement ads to get on top of like keywords. And when I saw the sales really starting to like triple and quadruple in November, I was talking to my Amazon team. I was like, what do? We can't really sell out. We need to have stock until start of January to kind of like survive this with the algorithm and everything. And he was like, okay, let's kill all the ads and then let's see. That didn't work. So he was like, so he was like, okay, let's try raising the prices 10%. Didn't work at all. So I was just, after that, I was just like, okay, fuck it. Because we have the mini one, then we have the big one. The mini used to retail at $20.
Yeah.
The big one used to retail at 40. So she's like, fuck it, let's raise the big one to 50 and the small one to 30. So that's a 25 and a 50% increase on the different products.
Yeah.
What happened though was it didn't work because people started seeing it as like a more high-end toy suddenly.
Yeah.
So it's like that exclusivity concept that suddenly kicked in. So after we raised the prices that much, which I felt like a piece of shit raising toy prices during holiday season, right?
Yeah.
But they just sold even quicker. It was actually like insane. So yeah, that's kind of like the rundown of what happened from start to end of last year.
Nice. So I know you mentioned you do this with your dad. I think that's awesome, right? And it's also very I feel like it's very common in business-centered families, but most people's parents, if anything, are somewhat unsupportive. It sounds like your dad was very supportive of this, and he was like, "This is cool. I want to support you. I want to teach you."
Yes.
Right. What was that? How does that impact those early days? Whenever you have a question, are you going to him? Is he kind of guiding you through this process? Because I think that's awesome. That's what I want to do for my kids one day, is show them how to start their first business.
Same. So my dad is 60. He's turning 61 next month. The difference between what we're going to be able to tell our kids, because we're so tapped into like the technical side of like everything business. So I think you and me are going to have an easier time kind of like understanding throughout the years. I don't think we're going to lose that understanding like our parents have lost it from them being kids, because they grew up without iPhones and without all this different stuff. So my dad is more of like, he's more of like an old school businessman. So what he teaches me in a big sense is like, for example, negotiations. He's taught me that a lot, and like just striking a deal, what kind of like assurances do you need on a contract, like all these different, and then just like mental advice. For example, when we sold out and I was like tripping over those lost sales every day, it was like, Frederik, you actually need to chill out a little bit, because there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to put your head down and keep working and keep putting out all this content to keep the brand awareness up. So when you do restock, then people are still there, right?
Yeah.
So that's been a really like good guiding point for me. And yeah, that's basically like what he mentors me in general, like
nice
old business advice, I would say, because he can't guide me on like what TikTok I should post.
How to do Amazon.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've learned all that by myself.
Nice, basically. Good for you. But I think it's I think that's really valuable, and I think for like, it's so intimidating starting your first business. You have no idea what you're doing. There's so many. I mean, in reality, like you don't need to know what you're doing. You just have to be willing to learn, to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, figuring out how to use Amazon on your own, figuring out all these,
you just have to
trade assurance. Exactly. Basically. Right. So you just have to learn. But I think that's the most intimidating part for people. And I'm wondering if you have any like first tips or first pieces of advice for anyone doing their first thing, whether it is a company like mine, clothing, CPG like yours, right?
It's going to sound generic, but I would definitely, as you also just said, just start doing something, you know, because you can go on YouTube, for example, if you want to start on Amazon, you can go on YouTube and research the shit out of it, which will probably, and then you procrastinate a little bit, play some video games, go to the clubs, just do random shit, and then it ends up taking a couple months before you even like actually start.
Yeah.
But if you just start right now, pull up another tab on your phone or your computer while listening to this, and just create an account in Amazon Seller Center, which is called, and just fucking create a product.
Yeah.
Go on Alibaba, find a supplier for what you want, text them, ask them what the price is, when they can deliver, what their shipping terms are. And then like, it's just, you're gonna learn so much quicker than if you just research first. Like, I mean, it's the best form of research to just put yourself into it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So just, I guess my advice would probably be start, and then also speak to people who know what you're starting in. So for example, in a practical sense, you could go on Twitter, and if you're starting on Amazon, if you're starting clothing brand, you would search up clothing brand owner, clothing brand CEO, clothing brand founder, or toy founder, Amazon FBA seller, or something, and you're just gonna find these people, start DMing them, start mentioning them in tweets, and they're most of the time gonna reply to you, because everyone, especially in America, it's very different from Denmark. People want to help over here. In Denmark, we have this law called the judgment law. It's not a real law. It's kind of like everyone just knows the law, kind of. So you can't talk about anything good that you're doing because then you're
bragging.
Yeah, bragging.
Interesting.
And you literally can't speak a word of it.
And is it like it's just shunned, or is this actually like a
shunned? Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was gonna ask you, what is the entrepreneurial culture like over there?
Yeah. So
because it's also like America is like entrepreneur centered capitalism,
yes.
right? I've never been to Denmark. I have no idea what it's like.
So if let's say you go to a bar with a few friends and meet some girls or meet some other boys there, and you start talking about your business, then it's just like everyone is like, what the fuck are you even?
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking about this? We don't care. We don't want to know. Because if you're doing better than us, then shut the fuck up. That's kind of like the mindset, right? But over here, what I've experienced is that unless you're like actually a dedicated hater, then people love seeing your progress and love like seeing what you do and just praise you for it and praise your progress. So yeah, it's just very different entrepreneurial cultures. Also in Denmark, a lot of entrepreneurs are like just kind of like assholes. They're not very down to earth. They're very like go to the finest hotels, get a glass of champagne, and flex on everyone. Right? They're just not down to earth and not very humble, which I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I think people. Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people over here want to help. Also, one thing that you need to. I think people need to understand that if there's someone doing better than you, you can learn from them.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I would go to school, and one of my best friends, his parents were mega entrepreneurs, the mom and dad. They're probably billionaires, right? And they had a jet, they had islands, plural. Like they had the nicest house on this massive property. And it like overlooked the whole town, and everyone would always talk shit about this kid. Oh yeah, he's rich, bro. Like, yeah, he's spoiled. Who cares, bro? Like, I wanted to be around that. I would like try and hang out with him and his family as much as possible because I was like, this is fucking sick. Like,
of course,
I want to do this for my kids.
Yeah.
I never understood why people were envious or jealous. It doesn't do anything for you.
It really doesn't. That's the same mindset I have all the time. I'm here in LA. I've the first time I came here was in June of last year, and then I've been here like 4 times now. And what I really also try to do is just meet as many people as I can, go to all the parties as I can, meet the most successful people that I can, because I really, as you just said, I want to learn from them instead of like despise them for their success, because that makes no sense. But I guess I can also understand why people despise people with success, because some people are just kind of like manufactured to go work a normal job. So they don't, first of all, they might not even really care about success and other people's like huge successes.
That's what it sounds like for over there in Denmark. They don't even, it's not even like everyone wants to. Like, it seems like for you from an early age, sorry to cut you off, you had like this drive inside you, like, I have to be something.
Very early age.
Same with me, but it seems like a lot of people over there don't really care about that. They're cool just doing.
Yeah, because like, so one thing you got to know about Denmark is that we pay anywhere between 42 and 52% taxes. No matter who you are, you're going to pay 42.
Everybody.
That's
crazy.
And then we have a 25% sales tax, and we just have all these giant fucking taxes. What that also means, though, is that the welfares of living is very good, and the schools are very good. So when you turn 18, you get paid to go to high school. You can get paid up to $1,000 a month, depending if you live at home or by yourself. And if you go to university, which is also free, and you can drop out, pick another university if you want the next year. It's like really everything's just free. You also get paid like $1,000 a month, right? What that does, though, is just it makes these workers for the government to just work for them. So they don't like their goal in life is probably, oh, I really want to make $200K a year, and that's like the top thing they can do. Maybe $500K if they're lucky when they turn fucking 50. But then that's just like, so that makes sense to me why they kind of like despise people who are striving to be very rich or very successful.
Yeah.
Because they can't relate to it at all. They just see it as bragging. Because if you have so much more money than me, then why are you even bothering like talking to me?
Yeah.
Because then they like put you on a kind of like on a pedestal that they don't want to put you on, but they put you on it either way.
Is that annoying to you? Like, does that kind of piss you off, or is it just like, oh, it's just the way it is? Like, because you live there full time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're just over here for travel, obviously.
Yeah, I guess it did. Like, in the beginning, it did annoy me a little bit because I wanted to be one of those kids who was just like, fuck this, like, judgment law.
Yeah.
Over there. But then I started to kind of make sense of it, that, as I just told you, they they don't want to care. They don't care. They don't want to hear about it.
I guess they want to prevent people from talking about it because they don't want it to lead to a culture like over here in the U.S. where it's the only thing that matters. Because to be honest, over here in the U.S., the way we grew up, you've probably already seen this quite a bit being out here in L.A. and stuff, but the way that it kind of feels to me, at least over here in the U.S., is it's constantly being reminded to you. Yeah. There's constantly a reminder that if you're not rich and famous, you're nobody. Yeah. Right? So it's really like this
especially here.
Especially here in LA. Cutthroat as hell. And I love that. I think that's awesome, right? And then and that's why I try and make content to promote like entrepreneurship and just like striving to be the best version of yourself, get 1% better every single day. But that also, you know, I feel like that can be toxic as well. I know I've heard that the happiness, you know, factor is much higher over in countries like Denmark. So
it is. Yeah. So obviously when you get paid everything for free, healthcare, school, can get a very good paying job straight out of university, which is also free. Then it's a very easy country to live in. Let's put it at that, right? It's a very easy country to live in, to work in, to build a family in. But for an entrepreneur like me and you, it's going to be a very boring country to live in because, first of all, you're paying 50% taxes, which you don't really want to do.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like working my ass off all year long and then the government's like, thank you, and they just grab half of it right away from you.
That's insane.
And there's no ways around that. Like over here, there's lots of ways around it. Yeah, lots of loopholes.
Yeah, there's way less loopholes. And then what you can do is write stuff off, which will then save you. If you buy something for $1,000 in your company, then you save $1,000 because you don't have to pay that
for sure
$1,000 in taxes. But I would say back to that, if I care about it or not, I don't care anymore because then I'm just like, okay, I'll just go over here, and I actually also want to move here maybe.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you plan on staying over there?
Yeah. I want to, because I don't have a green card or what it's called. So I would probably just move here for like 3 months at a time, which also fits me quite well because then every 3 months I would have to go back and I can visit my family for like a week's time and then come back. Because like when I'm staying in this house with 8 other kids like us too.
Entrepreneurs?
Yes. Young guys, 20s.
Nice. How'd you meet all these guys?
On Twitter.
No way.
Yeah. So the first time I came to LA was in June of 23. And what I did before I left, I was like, I just posted a shit ton on Twitter about MonkeWorld, and then I posted like, hello everyone, I'm coming to LA. I was 19 at the time. I'm a 19-year-old kid who wants to meet up, grab lunch, grab a drink, you know, whatever. And it got like a lot of people messaging me. And then I got here, met up with all these different cool people. And then one guy called James, shout out James, he texted me we should go for a hike. And the dude texted me at like 8 p.m. in the night, and I was just like jet lag as fuck. I was in my boxer shorts in my bed and about to go to sleep. And he texted me on Twitter, let's go for a hike. And I was like, when? Like tomorrow? Like the day after? Because I thought he meant like in a couple of days. He was just like, right now. I was like, fuck it. Put my clothes on, got an Uber to the trail, and just like hiked with him.
I feel like that's kind of weird.
It is.
Was it not like nerve-wracking? You're like, I don't even know who this dude is.
Very, very nerve-wracking because it was getting dark also.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that shit.
So I was like, fuck it. I might get axe murdered. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I like looked through his profile quickly, and it seemed to me like he was a genuine guy. So I said, fuck it, I'll just do it. And he brought me back to this house with these like 7-8 other like really cool people like me, and we just hit it off, all of us together. So ever since then, when I've been coming here, I stay with them, and they're just all amazing.
What do they all do? People. They're all like e-com money Twitter guys?
Yeah. So maybe like half of them. Then there's a few girlfriends at the house who do a lot of like TikTok shop affiliate, killing it, making like $3,000 a day in profit.
Wow. Just
from commissions. And then we have a couple of videographers who do stuff for like, what's his name? Like Mike Posner. Do you know that guy?
The old singer?
I guess.
Mike Posner? Like, I took a pill and I...
Yeah,
Mike
yeah,
Posner?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He, a guy called Brandon, he does a video for him and all these like rappers.
So it's just young hustlers.
Yeah, really. It's
10 young hustlers living in a house. That's sick.
Yeah, and compared to Denmark, because in Denmark, my routine usually, I have a pretty solid routine. Wake up, go to the gym, go to the office, get home, and then I have like 5-6 hours before I go to bed. Then I just sit on my fucking computer and play video games until I go to sleep, which I fucking hate. Like, it's almost like I'm addicted. I don't even want to do it. I feel so guilty when I play video games.
But it's boring.
It's very boring. It's just like I do it because I have nothing else to do. Over here, it's like, wake up, go get coffee. I don't even drink coffee. I get like a hot chocolate or something, or a kombucha. Go to the pickleball courts, play some pickleball, go home, get some work in, go to the gym, get in the sauna, get a workout in, go home, eat some good food, steak, some eggs.
Solid day.
Yeah, a very solid day. Because when, just like for me personally, when I remove all that gaming and replace it with something else, like working or like playing a physical sport or volleyball on the beach or whatever it is, it just makes me happier.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, dude. Surrounding yourself with number one, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. But you know, you mentioned it, and it's cool of you to admit this, but like you had somewhat of a gambling problem. I did too in college, right? You can also get addicted to video games. I did too in high school. I was the biggest fucking nerd ever. But if you can surround yourself with other people who hate that, right? Who don't want to do that, who want to go out, be active, who want to be spending all their time grinding, learning, then you're just going to want to do that too. So I think if you can, for anyone watching or listening, if you can find other people, they don't even have to be successful, but other people who want to grind on something, partner up with them essentially, right? Get a place together. If you can find like a couple of friends and you guys can sit down and have a serious conversation and say like, yo, we're all going to change our lives together. Yeah. We're all going to grind. We're all going to figure out something. I have a friend, CJ, who just dropped out of college, I'm pretty sure. And he started doing TikTok shop, right? And he's making same thing. He's making like $3,000 a day. I'm pretty sure right now. Just posted a screenshot yesterday of how much he made. In the past week, it was like $20,000.
Wow.
More than me, bro. Way more than me. I mean, my business does very well, but like I don't pay myself a lot.
Same.
And so it's cool though. It's a lot of people recently are getting into this. Like we just gotta hustle, get together with other young people, and make something happen, which I think is dope.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's how it is at the house. Cause like
is it a nice house?
Yeah, relatively. It's like really big. It has like a backyard with like a hot tub and stuff.
Nice.
The like how the daily like conversations go is always about either like business or like making jokes. Like that's the two things that we really do. Yeah. Like, oh, you want to run this ad? One guy goes to another. Yeah, let's fucking run it. I just made this creative. Let's try it for like a few days. Oh, I'm launching this product. What do you guys think about it? Like, it's just this constant like ping-ponging back and forth about new products, new ads, new business ideas. Do you want to work with me on this business idea? I think it's gonna do really well. And like,
that's lit.
Just the other day,
exact opposite of over there.
Yeah, very opposite. Just the other day, I went out. Do you know the Elysium Park helipad?
Yeah, I think so.
Has like this beautiful backdrop of downtown. I went on Turo, and I got 2 Cybertrucks, And I created a group chat for everyone at the house.
How did you rent a Cybertruck? I tried to the other day. It said I have to be 25.
Yeah, I got someone else at the house to do it for me. So he also drove it the whole day. I didn't want to drive it because there's cameras inside and stuff. Yeah. But so I was just like overwhelmed by all the love and like help I got from all these people, because when we went, it was like a 12-hour day. We went, picked up the cars at 10 a.m., dropped them off at 10 p.m., like on the dot. It was just like, we went, Brandon, who does stuff for Mike Posner, he was like filming everything completely for free just because he wanted to help.
Helping, yeah. And
everyone else. So we kind of like did this Mesh the Beast, David Dobrik style with like GoPros in the cars and like people just fucking yelling and being really ecstatic. But I stepped aside for a bit and just looked at like everyone and just had this moment of like, wow, everyone is actually here to help me do something great. And like if I were to pay these 10, 12 people, because we got some extras in also, just imagine the cost of that video. Like the video was really cheap to make after all, but because everyone wanted to actually genuinely help me there. And that you just...
And this was a video for the product?
Yeah.
Is it done yet?
No.
I want to see it. You got to send it to me.
I will.
Is this an ad or like a...
No.
Just an organic video?
Yeah. So we're going to do long form on it and short form.
Nice.
So one thing I actually regret not having done with MonkeWorld, I haven't started on shorts yet, on YouTube Shorts. I don't know why, but that'll come this year.
It's just one of those things you learn over time. For me, I think I don't really regret anything, but if there is something I were to regret, it would be, number one, not starting on social media earlier. Number two, not diversifying my platforms. Right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't start posting on Instagram until like 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm already at like almost 55K right now. And if I would have started posting the same exact videos I'm making right now on Instagram when I started, I'd be at 1 million on Instagram right now, right? Maybe even more, because I was just so afraid of like pissing off my friends. Like, oh, like Instagram's for pictures, bro. That's not where you go and yap on your phone. That's what TikTok's for, right? And I'm so pissed that I felt that way, because I just set myself back. But it's the same thing with you in Shorts or Twitter. Like Twitter's one thing right now. I'm curious if you have any advice. Are you pretty active on Twitter right now?
I am, actually.
What should I be doing as a young entrepreneur that doesn't take advantage of that space whatsoever?
So,
because everyone tells me I have to get on it.
How often do you post on it?
I never do.
Never?
Yeah.
How many followers do you have now?
Like 500. I'd never really post on it.
I would probably just glaze yourself, like do some, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, it's like what, like literally be like, I started Squid Hot, so we do this much a year, blah blah blah.
Yeah, just do those and go like, hey guys, maybe go like this. Hey guys, I'm a 22-year-old founder. My name is Lukas. I founded Squid Hall. You might have seen me on TikTok, and then just like post a screenshot of one of your videos, because I get like, it's just a guess, but I think most of the like money Twitter guys have seen you before.
Probably, yeah.
Because people back at the house knew who you were when I just mentioned your name, and they were like, "Oh shit, nice,
that's lit.
Nice shit." And just like post random shit, whatever you feel like. What I wouldn't do, it does work for some people. If you want to like sell courses and stuff, I'm guessing you don't want to.
I'm not gonna sell a course, at least not for a long time, because. So what I am doing right now, this is okay. So I'll walk you through my thought process right now. I've been very against any sort of communities, info products, whatever, right, for a long time. Not because I necessarily think they're bad, but because I don't really care about money very much right now.
Yeah.
I know that if I put all of my time and energy into this one thing, which is the personal brand and the business, they kind of go hand in hand. I know that it could be worth $1 billion one day, and then the money will be there. So I don't care about being a 22-year-old with a couple $1 million. It's fine, right? The money will come. But recently what I've started to realize is I could exponentially speed up my growth as a creator if I could hire videographers, if I could hire people to do all the little mundane stuff for me, if I did have a little extra money. So what I'm doing right now, is I'm about to launch a whole free Discord online community, right? Everything self-help and development. So everything from fitness to mental health, mindset, relationship advice, business advice, side hustles,
everything.
Money hacks, right? Just something, because same thing with you. When I was growing up, when I was in high school, when I was in college, I had a lot of friends. And I would go to the parties. It was a great time, super fun. Nobody was interested in business or entrepreneurship. No one was interested in anything self-development centered. And it was like isolating and lonely. Yeah. And I just wish that when I was in college, I had some sort of an online community where I can be like, hey guys, I have an idea for like a clothing brand. Like, does anyone else want to do this with me? Does anyone have any advice? Does anyone have any suggestions? Should I not do this? Right? That would have been so useful if I had something like that. So I'm doing that for free. And then within there, I'm not going to be very active. And then within there, I'll probably do like a very low ticket, $30 a month, where I go and just yap and bring on my idea actually is to bring on founder friends of mine, guys like yourself, guys like Harry Gestetner is 23, is CEO of Fanfic, $700 million company. Like, bring on all my friends, because that's my superpowers, my network, to like give little speeches and teach these kids how to start their first
network
businesses.
is arguably the most important thing you can have in your early 20s building a business, I would say. Like, actually, like, I was thinking about it in the car like last night when I was thinking about coming on this podcast. Like, this past 2 years, I almost can't remember. Like, I can't remember. Like, I can't really fathom how much I've put myself out there compared to what I used to. It's like, wow, I really kind of like did that shit. I went to the first time I touched down in LA, when I stood by the big doors in LAX, like going out.
Were you by yourself, by the way?
Yeah.
Nice.
Complete by myself.
Yeah.
I just felt scared as fuck. I was like, almost wanted to cry scared, because I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm all alone on the other side of the globe. I literally don't know a soul over here.
Why did you come over here? What was the purpose?
I just felt it was right.
Did you have a plan, or you just said, I'm gonna go to LA and see what happens?
Yeah. Last thing.
You just got a hotel or what?
I got the cheapest, dirt cheap Airbnb I could find.
Wow.
Like, and the wall, there's like this kind of like complex built for Airbnb.
Yeah.
And the walls were just like paper thin. So the guy staying next to me, I could hear him snoring all night. It was so bad, but it's so like good at the same time, because then I can remember back in that time where I was staying in that room.
Yeah.
And just like all I really could depend on was Twitter, basically, at that time, right? Which was really fun and like scary at the same time.
So then what happened? How long ago was that first time you came over here?
That was in June last year, so almost a year ago. Met the guys at the house, came back.
All because that first guy said, let's go on a hike, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think, like, always also told him when we were on the helipad, like, how much I appreciated him for actually like reaching out, and like, wow. But yeah, then I came back and I just started chipping away on like the different connections I made. One really practical advice I would give people listening to this is every time so what I did the first time I came here was I went to a place called the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel, because my mom has been watching a lot of like Kardashians and like Beverly Hills moms, and she saw like they hung out there. She was like, you should probably go there and just like lunch and see how it is. But then I got this feeling like, why don't I just go like 4 days in a row and fucking just rip it? And it's going to be expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it. So what I did was I went in there, got a table for one, brought the Monke, just placed it, plopped it down on the table. And people started like, what is that? Like, what even is that? Because it's so abnormal to have this in such a like fine dining place. And so the waiter started to notice and like ask me questions. I was like, oh yeah, it's this company I'm doing. It's called MonkeWorld. It's toys. Actually, you can just take this one. I just went to the first server, Alex. Really, really good guy. If you ever go to the Polo Lounge, ask for Alex. Anyways. So that was like the first day. I met a couple cool people from the tables, went over and just spoke to them, got their numbers. And then I went back and back and back, and I just ended up like befriending literally all the people who work there, like the whole team. So the practical advice I do now is when I first went there, I created a note in my phone saying Polo Lounge Network. And I just started typing down like all the names. So for example, Alex, the first guy I met there, wrote Alex and then just physically like described him.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
So I can remember people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I just do it everywhere I go. If I haven't been to a place before, I create the note, be really, really friendly and like sweet to the staff, shake their hand, get to know their name, immediately in the notes and write down the name. Because then if I ever come back, I can just search the place up in my notes. And like yesterday, it was like I went to this place, Yamashiro or something. It's this really cool dude called Emmanuel. And when I ever come back now, I'm just gonna, Emmanuel, that's my boy. And then that was the first time I went, so I only got him. But just like write down everyone you meet, because it's sometimes I think there's a problem for a lot of people. When you shake hands with someone and get their name, you forget it like that.
Yeah,
if you
right
don't
away.
really like think about remembering it or writing it down. So I just write it down. That's a really good advice I would probably give.
I fully agree. I do that too. I need to do a better job at that, right? So this is a good reminder. That's crazy. You just went to this restaurant and posted up there for 4 days.
Yeah.
With no plan, just trying to meet people.
Yeah.
Was there any serious connection that came out of that? Any opportunities?
Honestly,
I'm sure it made you feel more comfortable out here in LA.
Yeah, honestly, yes and no, because I met this couple from Chicago, a really nice woman called Kay Gibbons, and they had 4 young daughters, and I was like, I want to send you some monkeys and just like make your kids feel a little joy or something,
Yeah.
And I sent them the monkeys, and they sent me all these cool pictures and videos. So now, actually, her 4 kids are on my Twitter like banner on the profile, just sitting, really smiling and being happy.
Nice.
So in not a really serious connection, but now I know those guys. I remember them. And then I met a really cool guy. I just don't remember his name now. He owned like a motor shop. Like for like supercars, wrapping supercars and like fixing them and all this stuff. But it's more of like, now I have this place that if I want to take a meeting with someone, when I walk into Polo Lounge, everyone knows me, and like it's just such a cool
Frederik,
experience.
good to see you.
Yeah. It's just like
people are like, who is this guy?
Shaking my hand, giving me hugs, and it's just a really good like first impression to give someone.
Definitely.
But yeah, other than that, I would probably say no. Didn't really give me any serious like business. Didn't make me any money. Let's put it at that.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it made me definitely more comfortable in the environment over here, because then I had like my little place to go, and then also I have a really good place to take people now for like lunch and dinner and stuff. Yeah. So I've been there a lot since then, and it's a really amazing team there. Shout out to them.
Cool.
And a good food also.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to get into some quick questions here, because I have a few I wrote down, right? Stuff that'll be helpful for anyone watching. Number one, what's the scale of MonkeWorld like today?
7 figures a year.
7 figures a year, right? As a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That's insane. Do you at least feel proud of that a little bit, or are you like, there's a lot more work to be done?
A lot more work to be done, definitely. I do feel proud of it, because obviously, as a 20-year-old, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like still a gem in the rough in a way. So I know how much bigger it can get. And it's not just because obviously it's called MonkeWorld, but it's not just going to be the monkey like later this year. We're going to launch a bunch of new products, both licensing and originals. So it's going to be really, really an exciting year. And then obviously get on YouTube Shorts, really on tap for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess there is a lot more work to be done. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm like comfortable of where I'm at. I want to always do better and like beat kind of like beat the business and the person I was last year.
Yeah.
Or even just like yesterday. I want to be better like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that's just my mentality, because 7 figures a year is good, but it's just, it can be bigger.
How do you decide what to pay yourself? Is it based on a month? Do you pay yourself a salary? This is something that I am constantly trying to figure out myself, because you want to give your business as much as possible. It's like your kid. You want your kid to grow. It is
like a kid, a baby. Yeah. So it really depends. Sometimes I pay myself a couple $1,000 a month. Other months I don't pay myself at all, because then I like, if I have to like really place a big order for like inventory, then there's just no money for it. One thing that's also hard, especially with Amazon, is from the point that you make the sale, it can take up to 3 weeks for you to get the actual money, because it's like in increments.
Yeah.
Which really is hard on cash flow. So it's really inconsistent when I pay myself and how much it is. I don't have like a set salary that I give myself every month. It's just very, very different.
That's what I think a lot of people don't understand. They think they hear you're doing all this. You had a great month, and congrats, man. But it's not like that money's going to your account.
No,
you're putting it all right back in.
Yeah, definitely. Reinvest everything, always.
What was your closest quitting story? Almost quitting?
Probably from August of 22, when I founded the company after like the summer period, where I was like really down, because I was doing like 4,000 a month maybe.
Yeah.
And I was just losing money on that, because I just started working with my supplier, which I've worked with for now 2 years. But at that point, it was just the products that they were selling me was just much more expensive. So I didn't either. I like went and break even, or I lost money. I don't even know. But that was like, I have to get on Amazon, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna fucking quit. Yeah. I'm fucking done. So that was probably my closest quitting story I can think of.
How do you guys market right now? Because you're on Amazon. Amazon pushes it for you, and obviously you rip on social media. How are you running any ads, or is it all organic?
Yeah, so we don't run any ads right now. I did, like last month, I had like this, last couple of months, I had this like not Amazon, like paid ads team. And the communication was just not really there, because I thought they were going to like test out with like maybe 30, 40 bucks a day, 50 maybe. And they just ended up ripping through 10K in spend in like, I don't know, a month.
That's crazy.
With a 0.1 ROAS. Like,
dude, I'm happy to put you on to my ads team, by the way, because I went through, this is my fourth. I've gone through 4 different people, 4 different people / teams. It's hard. Yeah. It's really hard to find guys that actually care, that are reasonable. Some people try and take a % of your top line revenue, but they're not even bringing you anything back in. Yeah. So you're doing all the work to build your business. Yeah. And then they're getting a piece off the top for just while they're like sitting in their room.
You're basically giving them a percentage of your business.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm happy to set you up with some great guys that have been doing decently well for us. It's just up to you to get the creatives, right? Yeah. But you're already good at that.
Well, that's also the problem, because like creatives on TikTok is one thing. Actually running them as ads is another thing. So I don't want to talk shit about the team I just had, because it was also like my fault, a big part of it, because I was just bad at getting like actually like ad creatives done. Just so like mentally like filled up with everything else I needed to do.
Like, are you a one-man team still, by the way?
Yeah.
Nice.
So one thing,
one-man team doing 7 figures a year. That's impressive.
Well, I'm like employed one man. I spoke to, do you know Lukas?
Yeah.
Pudgy Penguins?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went by his office. We're going to launch a Pudgy Penguin in this soon, like next month. I went to his office in Miami, and one thing he told me was, Fred, you need to get people to do like the busy work for you. So you need to hire like freelancers and whatnot to like build this kind of like team around you that can like take care of all the stuff you don't want to spend time doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't want to spend time doing, but I don't want to spend time doing it because I have so much else so much other stuff to do, right? So, and then another thing he told me was hire freelancers for it, because then you can fire one, like remove one, and then get a new one in, if that,
as opposed to like a full-time employee. For sure.
Yeah. What I would consider doing in building like an actual team would be really like qualified people, or people who just understands the business very well, and get them on full time for like, let's say, like content creation, content direction, all these different stuff. But it's really hard to find, because what I would want is probably like a Gen Z person to kind of like direct the organic strategy.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find a Gen Z person who has worked in it a long time before. So it's kind of like hard to pick out who's real and who's not real. That whole like realm. So that's like, but right now it's mostly just freelancers and like agencies and stuff like that. I've built like structures around doing all this different busy work. So
nice. My next question is, how do you not let stuff in your personal life, whether it is relationship gone bad, friendship getting messed up, maybe family member dying, how do you not let stuff that you have every right to be upset about affect you and your business building it?
That's a really good question.
How do you separate your personal life from business?
So, honestly, I have had a few family members die in the past 2 years, just to use that as an example. But the thing is, though, that it's hard to like word it without sounding really cold. But when I went to those like funerals, for example, I just didn't I didn't cry. I didn't really like. It mattered to me, of course, but it didn't like affect me in any like big way, because my mentality when some people die, because all these were older people, like my grandpa and stuff, they had a really long, really good life. So when they die, it's like, okay, they had a really good life. And my grandpa, for example, he died with his whole family around him, like his wife, his daughter, sons, us grandchildren. It was like a really good way to go, right? Yeah. So I didn't even like feel. It's like hard for me to feel anything totally in those situations.
I get it. It's like I would actually hope that. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
That it would be the same when we pass.
Yeah.
Your family's not super upset and they're not able to even get done. They're not able to move on in their life because they're so sad. But if anything, they're happy that you had a great life and your time is ended.
I mean, I hope to get old, and it's a really good blessing to get really old. Like it's you're lucky if you get old.
Yeah.
Even if I died like right now, then I would hope, of course, it's going to be tougher on your family and close friends and everything when you're so young. But I would hope that everyone around me like kind of moved on as quickly as possible. Of course, they can grieve and whatnot, but fucking after my funeral, go to host a party or something, like something funny, like like do something fun in my name. I don't want people to go around being sad about me. I just that's at least how I feel about when other people die. I like try to think about their life and how good it was, and just so it's hard for me to like kind of like feel anything even. Yeah, it's just like kind of like numbing feeling.
It is what it is. Like
it is what it is. That's the perfect way of putting it. It is what it is. Cool. Like there's nothing to really do about it, and that's kind of like how I apply it to everything from my personal to business life. Is I don't know. I don't really even think about it. Just my personal life is personal life. My business life is business life, and that's just how it goes. It's not really something I really even think about, to be honest.
That's fine. Last question, because this is like your sauce, right? This is your secret. This is how you built this brand without spending any on marketing, pretty much. Which once again, it's absolutely insane. What's your secret to virality, right? How did you get this thing right here to 2.5 million followers.
So when looking at TikTok as an example, and just like short form in general, there's these like 3 pillars that you don't have to do all of them, but you have to do at least one of them. So one thing, or maybe 4. So one thing, the first one is you have to have a really deep understanding of the social media that you're on. So obviously you have TikTok, you have YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and then Snapchat Spotlight or whatever it's called. And those 4 are all vastly different like cultures, I would say.
Yeah.
So what you usually see on YouTube Shorts in regards to trends already was a trend on TikTok like maybe a couple months ago. Same thing with Snapchat, that it's just different cultures. So I would say, I know it's kind of like taboo to be on your phone a whole lot and like doom scroll on TikTok. But if you want to do a brand on TikTok and launch a product on TikTok, you need to understand TikTok.
For sure.
You can't be in that state, I'm only going to watch TikTok 30 minutes a day, because that's just not going to work then. You don't know what you're doing. You want to know all those like micro trends on TikTok. Like for example, I know that's not a micro trend anymore, but looks maxing, for example.
Yeah.
That's one that applies to you and your brand a little bit, and just your personal brand.
Hybrid. A great example would be like the hybrid scene in Austin, Texas. Like I got really lucky that. Have you seen those guys?
No.
The dudes that are just covered in tats, always running around shirtless, like.
Oh yeah.
You know, like making. They made running like cool the way I look at it, and I got really lucky that I was right next to them when that happened.
I've seen those guys.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Those types of things you need to be
really tapped into, like, for example, to those who don't know, being cooked, like just like the term cooked. Yeah. A lot of people don't know what that means if they were like limiting their screen time, for example. You just want to know those kind of like, you want to know all the trends basically in your head. So when you see a video, every time I look at a video, I think, does this apply to my brand? Can I find a way to make it apply? And if yes, then great, I make a video on it, put it in my drafts, and I have it. And if not, then I scroll until I find something I can. But then there's these other 3 pillars, which is like, first one is sex. So pretty woman, good, nice bodies. That's just like sex in itself. Always works, because that's just like the human nature. And there's like something that's genuinely funny. That's kind of like tied to the deep understanding. Because if you post something that you know people want to see, that's genuinely funny to that audience that you want to reach, then it's gonna like go viral.
Yeah.
Another thing too that is also the quality of your videos. Really important, because you can think something is funny and you can post it, but if the quality isn't there, it's not going to go viral.
For sure.
And the third one is what's the third one?
Community, maybe.
Yeah, community.
Yeah, feeling belonging.
Yeah, so you want to really, because for some brands, for your brand, for example, compared to mine, it's much easier to build a community around your brand than my brand as a toy company. On TikTok. So when they see the Monke on TikTok, it's just, it's a Monke. It's not really a community tied to it. You just gotta, for my brand, for example, it's the way to build a community is more through like those viral videos. Yeah. So if I was a viewer of mine and you were a viewer of mine, if I went, have you seen that Monke on TikTok? And you go, oh yeah, I actually do. I've seen it. Then it's kind of like that community bond that's really important to have. That I guess just it's community and like general brand awareness.
But your key is humor, I would say, right?
Yeah,
funny.
Definitely.
That's what you do for your videos.
And then also another thing is just like things that people don't expect to see. For example, with this, when I first launched it, like all the comments were basically, I didn't expect that it would go flat, because they thought it was like a hard plastic toy. So when I threw it on the ground, there was just like moment of like weirdness where they didn't even know what they were watching. Surprise, the element of surprise, I guess. So if you do videos where something super random comes in and just like takes the viewer back a little bit, then that's also a really key part to going viral. So that's probably those
nice
4 or 5 pillars.
I like it. Hell yeah. Well, dude, we're kind of at the end here, so I think this is perfect. I learned a lot. I hope you guys watching learned a lot. I'm obviously going to link all of his socials in the description. Go check out MonkeWorld. Go get yours. We're going to go fuck around with it after this. But thank you guys for watching. Frederik, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
And, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.
Sweet.